Hello and welcome to my review of Quicksand, the sand found in wetlands on which you are advised not to stand that the sand fans demand. Much like banana peels and ghosts, quicksand is a substance that is far more significant in media than in real life. This is because it is quite rare. You may wonder, if quicksand is so rare, how did I end up lost in the sauce? Well, it all started when I decided to review Quicksand.
Oh, I have a terrible idea.
But when I introspected on Quicksand, I realized that I was conflicted. I could think of equal reasons to love and hate it. So to make the review easier, I simply invented the Quicksand opinion separatinator.
This is existentially horrifying. I don't think we should have done this.
Man, I just love Quicksand.
Look at this graph!
Which exists for some reason and shows the percentage of films featuring quicksand each decade. As you can see, we are far from the quicksand golden age of the 60s, when 3% of all movies featured quicksand.
We are now in what economists would call a quicksand recession. It was at this point in researching that I learned that there was a large historic community of quicksand enjoyers who are actively producing softcore quicksand porn.
Sadly, I'm waiting on the email to verify my account on quicksandfans.com, the home of quicksand fetishism on the internet.
So I will let my counterpart go first.
Quicksand is a lie.
It is not quick. One of its defining characteristics is that you sink into it slowly. It's not necessarily sand. It could be clay, or silt, or any fine granular material mixed with fluid.
It is impossible to sink all the way into quicksand, because humans are less dense than water and sand. If you manage to drown in quicksand, it's because you did a handstand or you lied on your stomach, which is a skill issue. Even if you ignore how rare it is, there is no reason to fear quicksand.
Cartoon characters tend to look down and find that they have inexplicably ran into quicksand. However, I assume that most of you are three-dimensional creatures who can see the ground in front of you and choose to walk elsewhere. It is possible to die in quicksand, but it has to be one of the lamest deaths imaginable. You first need to be alone in the wild, then either walk obliviously to the middle of a large pool of quicksand, or get caught lacking by very unlucky tide changes. You then need to fail to escape by lying on your back, and struggle to the point that you are trapped. You also need to not have a cell phone on you to call for help. You will then be stuck there until you die of something else. Probably heat stroke, hypothermia, or dehydration.
Quicksand is a non-factor for nearly everyone in real life, and is a cliche and contrived plot device that serves to keep characters in danger for a completely arbitrary amount of time.
So I've been watching softcore quicksand porn for about 45 minutes now, and you know, it's interesting. I think I might be a fan.
For quicksand porn fans, might I suggest regular bondage? There are plenty of household items like rope, belts, or duct tape that can be used to restrict someone's movement.
I don't want to gatekeep porn for anyone, but my understanding is that a common theme in the genre is a focus on genitals. In the context of quicksand, they tend to be buried underground, or at least covered in mud.
Maybe I'm socially conservative, but that's gross.
Okay, maybe it's not greater than the sum of its parts, but it's still got some pretty great parts. Half-naked ladies, quicksand. They go together like Subway Surfer and Family Guy funny moments.
How do the logistics of this even work? Are they close to a shower, or even just running water to hose her down, or do they just throw a towel over her car seat and have her drive home like that?
Maybe we should talk about something more wholesome. The first song, called Quicksand, was released in 1963 by Martha and the Vandrells. It's a love song where Martha's lover is said to be like quicksand because she falls deeper in love with him. It's a great song. Here are 15 better songs from 1963. What you're currently hearing is not Quicksand.
It's Dancing in the Street, a much more popular song by the same group that was famously covered by David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
And if you don't know who they are, then walk into oncoming traffic, because the next song, called Quicksand, is by David Bowie off his album Hunky Dory. Here are 15 better David Bowie songs. It's a cool little acoustic track about sinking into the quicksand of his mind, and the lyrics sound like they were written on LSD. But actually, David Bowie doesn't like acid. And in researching that fact, I found JewOrNotJew.com, which scored Bowie a Jew score of 5. Exploring Quicksand can bring you to such interesting places.
The most recent hit song called Quicksand is by Morray, a rapper/singer from North Carolina.
Morray has a real rags-to-riches story. He started out as a gospel singer in his local church, and in the song, Quicksand refers to the trap, which he escaped.
There's nothing really to hate on. The song is pretty catchy.
It's time to address the elephant in the room. Hi, Mr. Elephant. Look how cute he is. Now, it's time to address something related. Quicksand in video games.
Quicksand's strongest gaming ally is Mario, as the core soup appears in Mario 2, 3, 64, Odyssey, NSMB, 1, 2U, and Wii, both Galaxies, 3D World, Run, and in Mario Party 7, 2, and 3, the Mario Kart series in SC, DD, 8, and Wii, and even in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Have a little piece of spaghetti on your overalls.
Quicksand is a beautiful feature to include that reminds the player that they are in a desert or jungle level.
There is no reason for Quicksand to ever be in a video game.
It will function in one of two ways. You will slowly sink into it and you just have to spam the jump button to get out like in Mario 64, or you will die as soon as you touch it like in Mario 64. In the first case, it's just annoying. Spamming a button to stay alive in a video game makes me feel like a rat in a Skinner box pressing a lever for food pellets. In the second, this could just be a bottomless pit. The bottomless pit has been a classic since Pitfall. A house is not a home without one.
I may not be a film buff, but I'd like to highlight 2 standout Quicksand scenes.
The first is in The Princess Bride, where Buttercup falls in and Wesley jumps in after her, showing that he's willing to literally dive into the unknown and likely deadly to save her. The scene also features a giant rat puppet, something that's great to have in any movie scene. The second film is The Neverending Story, and I'm not the most emotional movie watcher, but something about this scene just gives me goosebumps. Atreyu and Artax are just trying to get through the swamp of sadness where you sink if you give in to the sadness. But Artax is just a stupid horse, so Atreyu has to watch him sink to his death.
Wait, the kid is sobbing. How is he not giving in to the sadness and dying too? Anyway, you may be wondering how I'm going to get out of the quicksand. That's the thing. People have the wrong mindset about quicksand. They try to fight it. I will simply embrace a sedentary lifestyle. Venus flytraps wait for food to come to them and they get by just fine. Do you think Venus flytraps are better than me? I could beat the shit out of a Venus flytrap. And for that reason, Quicksand gets a 10 out of 10.
Well, I hate Quicksand, so I obviously give it a 1 out of 10. But my other half is going to die waiting for food to come to him, so I guess out of respect, we will meet in the middle with an official rating of 5 out of 10. This means that Quicksand is the worst thing in existence, according to the definitive ranking of things. If you want to boost my morale while I'm waiting for a wild roaming double cheeseburger to come within arm's reach, you should subscribe, or check out some of my other videos. In the meantime, I'll be here chillin'. Quicksand, quicksand, pulling me closer, closer in your arms. Okay, I'm actually kind of stuck. Can I end the recording? I'm just wasting data.